Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for staying tuned and sticking with me. So today I can be honest and say it has been a long week. Gosh. But before I even get started with everything, if you have not subscribed, what's your problem? Subscribe! And before I even go into the video, you see what the title is. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. So, as you can see, today we're talking about protection or not. It's my choice. So I already know that you got your own things rattling around in your brain, trying to figure it out, and you got some preconceived notions, which is typical. But hey, I want you to slow it down. Like he says on Wildin' Out, slow it down. So what I want to talk about, yes, protection or not, makes you think things from a sexual perspective. And I'm actually going to come from a spin-off. And if you stick to the end, you may hear something extra. So I'm looking down because I have my notes. I'm trying to be a little bit more formal, a little more prepared. I'll say not formal, prepared with some things, because guys, since I started my YouTube channel, I have like loads of things going on in my brain, and like I'll come across things and I'm just like, ooh, I want to talk about that. Ooh, I want to talk about that. And then it's like, then I just sit around and I'm like, crap, what was it again that I thought of? And I don't want to present that to you guys. So I actually did some writing. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about is choices. You know, by the title, protection or not, it's a choice. And the choice that I want to, or the position that I want to come from, is your choice in life. And this can be applied to any circumstance, whether that is sexual, romantic, parental, educational, intellectual, wherever, spiritual. It can go anywhere, even in emotional places. Wherever, there's an opportunity that we all come across when we get into these crossroads in life where we have to make a decision. And protection would come from a sense of, let me take the safe route. Whether that's one, asking for help. Like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? 50-50. Or phone a friend, right? Protection. Where you kind of weigh your options as to what it could be like. And I can say one of the biggest things that has inspired me to write, but to start this YouTube channel, is because I am a writer. And I also find myself talking to a lot of friends and coming in contact with people who have questions. And I find myself doing a little bit of mentoring and aiding people into better places. Not in a sense like, hey, let me grab your hand and I'll take you. No, it's more or less, let me tell you a little bit about what I experienced in that moment, and just don't go down that path. Protection. And sometimes we have a great relationship with our parents, and we can go to them and say, you know, hey mom, hey dad, this is what was going on in my life, and or this is what's happening, and you know, I have all these things going on and I really don't know what to do. Me, I didn't have that. But thank God I had some different older people around me that seen some value in me and wanted to lead me down the right path, or at least help me to see what the right path looked like. Me, unfortunately, or rather fortunately, I was what's called a rebel, very hard-headed. I wanted to figure it out on my own. But since I've figured out some things and gone the road that was less traveled by, I am admonished, esteemed, very excited to come on to my YouTube channel and share my different experiences with you guys, because I wouldn't wish all the time in the world to go through some of the stuff that I went through on nobody. Like, the timelines on some lessons started when I was in childhood to now, and it's like, you know how much time I could have saved? But hey, it is what it is. No regrets. But when you think of protection, yes, you could come from a perspective of reaching out to a friend that you hold near and dear. But one of the biggest areas of protection that I would always encourage is go to someone who's where you want to be, and that can actually coach you in how they achieved it. Because if you go to someone who's on your level, you're 10 times out of 10, you're really just going to talk about where you are, and you're not going to get to where you're trying to be. So like, let's say for money, for instance, if you are an entry-level employee and you want to become a millionaire or an owner of a company, hanging out with your colleagues is okay to talk about the everyday job. But if your real true goal is to be the man on top or the woman on top, then you might want to figure out a way to connect with those who are on top so you can see how they got there. Again, flip it in a sense of like sports. Like, you're not gonna talk to all of the people who are at training camp to find out how to make it in the big leagues. You're going to try to find somebody who's either one, been in the big leagues and now is coaching and developing and being a trainer to help get you prepared for that. But to talk to all the people that is on your team, they're not there either. So somebody's lacking. So that's why I want to encourage us. And I say us because yes, I still need protection. Like, there's things in life and there's places in life that I have never been before, and I want to get there. But I've changed the circle of people that I'm around, in a sense that not so much that everybody I don't hang out with, but when it comes to certain things, I make sure that I approach the correct people that are where I want to be, so that I can gain more knowledge to be able to get there, versus talking amongst the people who are in the same place that I'm in. Duh. That's a lesson that took me a while to learn. Then secondly, you can opt out. And honestly, opting out is an option. Like, please don't get me wrong. Like I said a little while ago, I'm what you call a rebel. I took the road less traveled by, and it has taught me so much. And realistically, some of us need that, but all of us don't. But it's my hope and my prayer that more people get to the place where they don't want to have to take the road less traveled by. Not to say that every path is going to be paved out for you and somebody's taken it, but majority of the time somebody's been there. And it may not be the same scenario, it may not be the same circumstances, it may not look like the same situation. Somebody may be telling you about principles that they learned in a business, but it may fit your personal life. Somebody may be telling you something that happened in their household with their parents' relationship that may help you in a marriage. Like, there's so many different things that can fit in different avenues. Somebody can tell you something that happened at work and it can help you with your relationship with God. Like, I've had that happen. And it's okay. That's why I say protection or not, because I chose not. And it was my choice, because I felt that at that particular point in my life, I was at a crossroad and I felt like I had gained everything that I needed to gain from people. And I wanted to take a step, kind of like a risky step, and test the waters. But I can't lie and say that I just went out there willy-nilly like, whatever happens, happens. No, I had a very good, strong faith. And my faith was, whatever I choose, I know God's got me. And even in the midst of that, I knew that I needed to discover God and life in a whole nother way, because I just felt at the particular point where my car got full, but it's okay. So yes, I was at the point where I was at a crossroad and realistically just needed to make a decision whether or not I would go for the gusto and take life by the horns and see and explore, or keep doing the same thing that I've been doing. And one of the biggest things that helped me to get through and get to the next step was remembering the phrase that, or not the phrase, but the definition of insanity. What is insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over again, looking for different results. And I just couldn't find myself in that wheel, because I found myself in that place, that cycle where I was just doing the same thing over and over and over again, over and over and over again, over and over again. And it's like, okay, enough. Something's got to give. And so I put my big girl panties on and I was like, you know what? We're doing something different. And I did. And it was definitely rough, but I knew that I was equipped and ready and prepared in a sense of being, that I could handle anything. And one of my biggest phrases that keeps me going is there's no quit in me. So whatever challenges have come up in my life, it's been hard at times. And to just give you a brief story time about me, so in my dating scene, I dated a guy for a very long time and came to the point where it was like we had gone through life and came back together, and it's like, oh, maybe it'll be the time where he finally asked me to marry him. That didn't get the case. It was more or less ready for babies. Yeah. And I decided, okay, well, let's do it. Then in the process of getting pregnant, I realized that I kind of made a mistake. 1. 2, there's a slight possibility that I don't want to keep the baby. And the reason being was there may be another dad. But here's the thing. In the midst of that, it was a blessing in disguise, because God showed me in that time that the guy that I wanted and thought I wanted did not have my best interest at heart, regardless of the situation. No matter what mistake I made and oops I slept with, and possibly there may have been a mistake that had happened. What had happened was it was what it was. And then when I realized and things began to spin out of control, out of my grasp, I realized that I did not want to bring a child into this world and have this child face like the turmoil. So I made the choice to not only protect myself, but protect a child coming into this world. And you know, you can have your opinions. Comment, please comment on that. But here's the thing, I am free, and I owe it to myself and to you viewers to share it, because guess what? Not everybody's free. Not everybody has had the opportunity to come to a place where they're okay with being so transparent. And I don't apologize. Yes, I know that some people view abortion one way or another, but hey, that's your choice. Protection or not, it's my choice. And that was the choice that I chose. And I say that boldly, not because of the fact that I'm proud to not have a child. No, because I desperately, no, I don't want to say desperately, but I have a strong desire to have children, and I will one day when I'm ready with the right person who wants to have a family and not only be a husband to me, but a father to children. And that was my choice. And could I have been protected? Sure. But I went out there and I was like, you know what? I got it and I can handle it. And life hit me. And when it hit me, I had to take it and take ownership and responsibility into my own hands. And it took me about a good 2.5 weeks of being alone and like in a soulless place to myself to make the decision, and I did, and it was hard and it was very tough. And I had some really great friends, some really great people that I came across and still to this day love so tremendously dearly for their sacrifice, their willingness, and their love that they shown me during that time. It helped me, it shaped me, and it built me, and it helped me to bounce back to a place where I could realize that, you know, my choice was my choice, and it was for the greater good. So I think that's all I really had to say today. I have more things to share. Like I said, raw and uncut, this is me. So I invite you to definitely like, subscribe to my channel, and come back again. I got more things coming. And if you haven't heard, there's some other videos, can't even speak. There's some other videos on this channel. So go and view them. And definitely comment. I want to know your feedback. Because guess what? Protection or not, it's your choice. You choose whether you want to skate through life not having protection and going through and hitting every bump that's in the road, or choose the road of getting some guidance and seeking some counsel, or even tuning into my channel and hearing some of the things and the outrageous stories that not everybody knows, because they see my face and they're like, oh, you've never experienced anything. Oh, little do you know. But hey, I'm ready to tell the world.